This is Top 30. 30 stories in 30 minutes. Most Americans have regrets about money, and now we know what they are. 71% of Americans have expressed regret about how they manage their finances. This according to a Harris poll conducted for the website NerdWallet. The #1 regret those Americans had was not thinking about managing money sooner. 48% wish they'd started planning earlier in life. It could affect whether they can afford a down payment on a home when they're young or retire when they're older. In second place, with 39%, was overspending on non-essential purchases. The third most common regret, with 33%, was racking up unnecessary debt. And the younger you are, the more likely you are to have money regrets. 83% of Americans under 35 say they have made mistakes. Compare that to 75% of Gen Xers and 59% of baby boomers. The good news is that not all spending leads to regret. A separate study at Duke University found that spending money on your community or education was more satisfying than impulse buys like expensive coffee. The least satisfying expense is a surprise to no one: bank fees.
A new year means one thing in the fashion world: award show season. And the red carpet is always sizzling hot, and we want to know what our favorite celebrities are going to be wearing. So our expert stylist, Karen Raphael, is here to break down the top trends we'll see. Karen, hello. You look amazing. I'm so happy to talk to you.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Now, what trends are you personally most excited about this award season?
I would have to say, ironically, florals. But you usually see florals in the spring, right?
Yeah.
Now, one of the things you've been seeing lately is a fall-winter version of that, which is kind of cool because it's an edgier feel, a darker floral. And I've enjoyed seeing the different options. It has this like really fun, different look to it. There are a few really gorgeous gowns from Tahari SL that I love that I've seen. There's one with this gorgeous black mesh and these floral appliques that go all the way down. That's one of the gowns I hope somebody wears, and I'm excited to see.
So with the Golden Globes coming up this Sunday, is there a particular celebrity that always impresses you on the carpet?
I think Emma Stone would be that person. You know, she was the first to do the jumpsuit trend. I mean, it's not usual that you would see a jumpsuit on a carpet. Emma Stone is completely herself, so I'm excited to see what she would do this year.
Oh, so amazing. Karen, I know it's a crazy time right now, so thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to hang out with us here on Top 30. According to the National Center for Health Statistics, the birth rate in the U.S. fell to a record low in 2016. Only 62 births per 1,000 women of childbearing age. But most of that decline comes from one specific group: teenage pregnancies. Teen pregnancies fell 9% from 2015 to 20.3 births per 1,000 women in 2016. According to the Wall Street Journal, that's the lowest rate for that age group since at least 1940. Teen pregnancies have been declining since 2007. The same is true for birth rates among women ages 20 to 24. But birth rates are increasing for women ages 25 to 39, suggesting women are delaying childbirth until later in life. Even though the overall birth rate is down, the total number of births has generally remained steady due to population growth. So it doesn't look like our population is going to dwindle anytime soon. Donna Strobino, a professor at Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health, told the Washington Post, "What this is a trend of women becoming more educated and more mature. I'm not sure that's bad. And women making more informed choices about family planning is something we can all rally around."
The FDA issued a warning about a popular herbal remedy, saying it could lead to addiction, injury, or even death. Kratom is used to treat pain, anxiety, and depression, and can also have opioid-like effects, which makes it a popular supplement for opioid withdrawal. Kratom is made from a plant in Southeast Asia and is sold over the counter in pill or powder form. The FDA says it's connected to 36 deaths and is working to block shipments of the remedy into the United States, even though it's still currently legal under federal law. The agency is still conducting tests on Kratom to see if there are beneficial uses for the supplement, but there is no timetable for that research to be completed.
If you're married, you've probably wanted to pull your hair out a time or two, but new research says you're actually less likely to lose your mind. According to a new study in the Journal of Neurology, Neurosurgery, and Psychiatry, people who have been single their whole lives are 42% more likely to develop dementia. The study included 812,047 people from various countries, including the US, and found that those who were married at the time were at a lower risk of dementia, despite their age and gender. But the lead author on the paper cautioned it's more than just putting a ring on someone's finger. He said, "Our research suggests that the possible protective effect is linked to various lifestyle factors which are known to accompany marriage, such as living a generally healthier lifestyle and having more social stimulation as a result of living with a spouse or partner." The World Health Organization ranks dementia as the 7th leading cause of death worldwide. Because the study had some limitations, the findings can't prove that marriage directly decreases risk of dementia, but I'm married, so I choose to believe it.
According to Newsweek, glitter's biggest problem might not be how to clean it up, but that it is polluting our oceans. Most glitters are microplastics, plastics smaller than 5 millimeters. The United Nations estimated there are 46,000 pieces of waste plastic per square mile of sea. Though glitter's specific role in ocean pollution is unknown, scientists generally look at the effect of microplastics as a whole, and the real issue is the chemicals plastics like these absorb. As Dr. Sherry Mason explained, plastics are really good at absorbing chemicals which can bring some potentially dangerous ones into a fish's body as they eat other organisms that have been contaminated with microplastics. The BBC reported glitter has been banned by several children's nurseries because of the terrible damage it does to the environment. It's also ugly and tacky, so now you've got 2 reasons not to use it.
When it comes to female legislators, it turns out most women are with her. A new study from the University of Massachusetts Amherst found women tend to view female lawmakers more favorably across a variety of factors, like competence, integrity, and representing their district well. Men, on the other hand, typically don't view female and male legislators differently. However, Political Party did determine how much of a boost women lawmakers received. Political scientists Mia Costa and Brian Schaffner wrote, "Women rate female Republican legislators more positively than they do male Republican legislators. But neither women nor men rate Democratic legislators differently based on their gender." This translated to a 10 to 11% bump for female Republican members of Congress in approval ratings among women. There was one group that didn't view female legislators favorably: Republican men. Researchers wrote, while Democratic men evaluate women legislators more favorably, the opposite is true for Republican men. Republican men are the one group who provide lower evaluations of female elected officials. But when it comes to governing, the news is mostly good for women. Yes, she can.
Nightlife industry experts are turning to an unsuspecting crowd to keep them afloat: Gen Xers. Slowing growth in the club industry has made the 45 to 54 age group the target demo for the $45 billion a year industry. According to Ibis World, Gen X spends the most when it comes to nightlife entertainment, which includes bars, nightclubs, lounges, and other late-night vendors that serve food. To cater to the needs of this demographic, nightlife industry experts are tailoring events to the specific needs of this audience. Paul Serres, vice president at the New York Hospitality Alliance, said more clubs are opening their doors earlier so Gen Xers can party even though they're not closing places down anymore. Middle-aged men going to nightclubs. It is pathetic. And I do it.
Flying is definitely not everyone's favorite, so here are 5 ways for you to have a more comfortable flight, according to USA Today. First, if flying makes you nauseous, choose a seat where the wings are. That's the most stable area of the plane. Also, book a flight on the biggest plane possible. Larger planes are pressurized for lower altitudes, which helps you breathe easier and sleep better. You should always wear earplugs. Noise can get up to 120 decibels at takeoff and landing, which can create unwanted stress. Also, eye masks are a great way to block blue light from all those glowing screens, and even better, discourage your chatty neighbors from talking to you all flight long. And bad news, flying makes you dehydrated, as does alcohol, so it's best to save that drink for after you land. Think of it as your well-earned reward for a long day of travel.
A new study conducted by Public Health Wales and published in BMJ Open found that different alcohols cause a variety of emotional reactions. Most prevalent is that 30% of spirit drinkers report feelings of aggression and anger when compared with beer and wine drinkers. 53% of red wine drinkers and 50% of beer drinkers said they felt relaxed after drinking. However, 60% of red wine drinkers reported feeling tired after imbibing. According to Newsweek, Mark Bellis, co-author of the study, says the history of rum, gin, vodka, and other spirits has been laced with violence. This global study suggests even today, consuming spirits is more likely to result in feelings of aggression than other drinks. To conclude this, researchers analysed data from the Global Drug Survey, which looked at 31,000 adults aged 18 to 34 from 21 countries around the world. The best thing to do is go for a combination of all the different drinks in the same evening. That statement has no basis in fact.
In today's Hometown Stories from Fox 10 Phoenix, an event at Mission Community Church honored adoptive and foster parents. Arizona, in particular, has a foster crisis. 18,000 kids are waiting in the system to be taken in by a family for adoption or foster care. Over 1,500 people came to this event, where foster parents and kids could connect with each other and have some fun. There was a petting zoo, bounce houses, face painting, and more. But more importantly, it's a way to thank them for all they do and encourages them to keep going. In our second story from Fox 46 Charlotte, veteran Anthony Anderson created a website to investigate charges of stolen valor. His website, Guardian of Valor, seeks to expose people who lie about being military vets. Anderson says he's motivated to preserve the honor and bravery of real military service members. In our final story from Fox 29 Philadelphia, a family lost everything when a fire decimated their home. Money was so tight, Thelma Covington Carroll couldn't afford renter's insurance for her family. So while they were able to get a new apartment, they had no extra money for furniture. But thanks to some local businesses rallying together, they got the surprise of a lifetime.
Thank you so much.
They were given bedroom sets for each room, a new kitchen set, clothing, and a gift certificate for groceries. How this community stepped up to help a family in need should inspire us all. Just because we feel invincible doesn't mean we are, which is why it's very important to always be aware of what's going on with your body. And according to Bustle, the perfect time to do a quick maintenance check is in the shower. Once a month, get in the practice of doing a breast exam. Your fingertips are already wet, so you can feel for any changes or lumps in the tissue. While you're at it, give moles and freckles a quick once-over by looking for any irregularities in shape or coloration. Also, if you're ever standing under the running water and feeling lightheaded, it could be a symptom of something greater like blood pressure problems, fatigue, and fibromyalgia. Finally, a shower is a place to relax and let go. So if you're feeling isolated, stressed, or anxious at the time, you might want to bring it up to a doctor. Checking with your physician anytime your body seems off is always a good idea. Preventative measures save lives.
We've all been taught to apologize when we hurt someone else's feelings, but when it comes to rejection, you might want to think again. New research out of Dartmouth College says apologizing when brushing someone off might make you feel better, but it makes them feel worse because they're put in a position to forgive you even if they don't want to. This guilty forgiveness often makes the jilted party seek revenge. The study examined the reactions of a pool of more than 1,000 people, including 600 members of the public and 480 psychology students, about their reaction to being rejected in a variety of situations. According to the Daily Mail, 39% of people offered an apology during a rejection said it directly increased how stinging the rejection felt, leading researchers to believe these apologies are, in fact, a selfish act. So reject someone, don't apologize, and they'll feel great. Seeing guns in movies makes kids more likely to shoot a gun in real life. This simultaneously disturbing And not at all surprising revelation comes from a new study in which Ohio State University conducted an experiment with 104 children aged 8 to 12. Each child was shown 20 minutes of a PG-rated movie. Some kids saw the clip in its entirety, which included a form of gun violence, while other kids watched clips with the gun scenes edited out. The kids were then put in a room of toys to play unsupervised, where an authentic yet disabled .38 caliber handgun was planted. The kids who'd recently seen gun violence in the movie were 3 times more likely to pull the trigger on the gun. Those same kids also held the gun for an average of 53 seconds, whereas the kids who hadn't seen the gun scenes only touched it for 11 seconds. It is estimated 1 in 3 American homes with children in them have guns, and 1.7 million children are living in the presence of loaded, unlocked guns, which is such an incredible statistic, I'm just gonna leave it hanging.
Consider this scenario. A teenage boy has a heap of dirty laundry in his room. When his mom walks in, she tells him to clean it up. The room absolutely reeks. He responds, "What? I don't smell anything." The mom is sure he's lying. After all, for her, the smell is overwhelming. Well, science actually says both people's account of the situation are accurate. Women have more cells in the part of the brain that processes smell, by a lot. On average, women have 6.9 million neurons in the olfactory bulb, nearly double men's 3.5 million. This means women's sense of smell is much better than men's. And women's odor detection gets stronger with repeated exposure. A study from the journal Nature Neuroscience found women were able to detect a scent at 1/100,000th of a concentration they needed the first time they were exposed to the smell. On the other hand, men's odor detection showed no improvement over time. So fellas, trust women when they say something stinks. We know what we're talking about.
A new study conducted by Florida Atlantic University, Florida International University, and the University of Wyoming says being a homeowner might help you save money, but it won't help you make money. The study's authors say the belief that people are throwing away money by renting is false. This is because it is assumed that the extra money renters save from not owning a home isn't used for investing. In a press release, study co-author Ken Johnson of FAU's College of Business said on average, renting and reinvesting wins in terms of wealth creation regardless of property appreciation, which isn't to say that most renters are investing because many will use the money saved to purchase consumer goods. Johnson says home ownership can be a good investment as long as you're not living in the home you own, because being a landlord is one of the best ways to increase your wealth. According to some of the best sommeliers in the world, some common wine practices have no place at your table. The Dine X restaurant group, belonging to chef Daniel Boulud, recently held a wine dinner in New York, and while we weren't invited, a writer for the New York Times was, and they debunked these common wine myths. Many drinkers think they don't like sweet wine, but experts say it goes well with savory foods as long as it has enough acid to balance out the sugar. German Rieslings work best. Restaurants often serve white wines too cold and red wines too warm. Expensive whites should be left out for about half an hour before serving. Reds can be chilled in the fridge for about 15 minutes if they seem too warm. The confusion comes from use of the term room temperature, which actually dates back to a time when thick stone walls meant that was about 60 degrees Fahrenheit. White meat doesn't have to mean white wine. Some Syrahs pair well with chicken. A light red like Pinot Noir can be good with seafood. Another myth about food pairings involves cheese. It is usually best with whites, not reds. As always, there are exceptions. And many people spend too much money as well on vintage wines. Experts say only to focus on years if you plan to store them for a long time or if buying as an investment. Now, please go away and try every different permutation of wine pairing I've just described. Do it now.
Breakfast might be the most important meal of the day, but many popular breakfast foods don't contribute to guaranteed long-term weight loss. According to the National Weight Control Registry, 80% of people who've lost over 30 pounds have done so by incorporating a high-protein breakfast into their daily routine. Here are some of the top culprits wreaking havoc on your waistline. Coffee creamer is filled with added fat and calories. Opt instead for a non-dairy creamer like soy, cashew, or almond milk. Energy drinks may make you feel a boost of energy, but a lot of the time that feeling comes from added sugars. Instead, try a green tea like matcha to pump you up. Finally, eliminate Grand Slam type breakfasts because the combination of the pancakes, bacon, eggs, sausage, and hash browns will blow your calorie count. Stick to single item proteins with veggies like egg whites with fresh spinach or oatmeal to get the best results.
Thank you for watching. You can catch up with past episodes of Top 30 now on Hulu. You can also download the Top 30 mobile app and visit our website. We want to hear from you, so connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Like, follow, and subscribe to @Top30TV for interviews and exclusive web content. We will see you next time on Top 30.